I did it on purpose.
Do you use it a lot? No.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yes.
You hate it.
I like bigger mugs. And then I just really like this mug because
Ravenclaw.
it's beautiful.
If we went to Hogwarts together, I don't know if we'd be friends. Also, let's be real, you'd be a Slytherin. Hot tea. Hot tea. The hot tea.
I take offense to everything you just said. I would not. You want to know something?
You've got the undertones of Slytherin, Morgan.
The other day, I have a group chat with my coworkers, and we were talking about... Hold on. I think we were talking about, like, just being a bitch. And one of them said, wow, Morgan being a bitch, groundbreaking. I am not that mean. I'm not. And you're just giggling because you think I am. Welcome to the fucking podcast.
No, you're not mean. You're not mean. She's
shit on
you
Morgan
don't know.
podcast.
Morgan's not mean.
Thank
It's
you for
not
joining.
mean. She's real. That's what it is.
Would you like me to tell you?
My sunglasses are ugly. Yes.
I didn't say they were ugly.
Anyway, welcome everyone who's watching. Probably just Mike and Josh. Welcome everyone
Josh.
who is watching this to the first ever 1, 2, 3 boost and reviewed, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Do that again.
Ready?
So you're going to say boozed and reviewed.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going to say boo.
Oh no, I was gonna do the normal.
Okay.
I'm keeping this all in. I hope you don't. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. 1 on 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Boozed and
and
reviewed.
reviewed.
Oh yeah. Boozed and reviewed, ladies and gents.
Where we review the book of the month, Survive the Night.
By Riley Sager. Ooh.
Yes, woo.
Ooh.
And alcohol. Okay, and alcohol.
And 5 o'clock somewhere, guys.
It's actually 11:37 a.m. on a Sunday. So
We're
you
great.
know what?
We are fine.
It's great.
We're good.
Today, I found these at the store, and you know what? I was excited. Little Truly Pops. And I really think they have more alcohol
Then the actual cans.
than the Truly thing.
Oh boy.
I didn't have breakfast.
The breakfast of champions, ladies and gents. Truly Freezy
Truly
Pops with
So,
a hint of alcohol, aka
A
a
hint?
large hint of it.
5%.
Do they taste alcoholic?
We're about to find out.
Ooh, ladies and gents, the
We have
first alcohol
strawberry lemonade.
to review by the two
Idiots.
the biggest idiots.
Mango lemonade. Original lemonade. Strawberry lemonade. Which one did you want?
I'm gonna go OG.
OG?
OG, thank you.
I am going to do the mango.
Yeah. Oh,
And I also got us these little bad boys here. So we don't freeze.
ASMR.
Fucking knock it off, Danielle.
So we gotta talk Trulies now. So
Yeah.
there's everybody knows there's lots of Truly flavors out there in the biz.
In the biz.
In the
What's your
biz.
favorite Truly, you think?
That's literally where I was going.
Oh,
See, I don't know because
What kind? Let's start.
I would like the regular ones the best. I think I gotta go lime. Lime regular. Let's go generic Brian.
I am disgusted.
I love the lime one. It's not.
Regular Trulies.
Yeah.
Not eat the
I
fruit
just
punch, not
no.
lemonade.
See, the fruit punch were okay when you let me try them. I didn't get to try them all though.
Okay, but you're telling me out of all the flavors in the world,
I gotta go OG lime.
you're disgusting. You're disgusting.
What's yours?
I really like. I think I'm between the tea and the punch.
Okay.
I
Wow, I'm surprised you said tea because I thought you didn't like that.
I like the tea.
Yeah,
I think. Sorry, I have an itch on my nose.
you're good.
I think I like the punch ones the most, and I like the light blue can.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was. I think that's
That's a
it's not
that's a
citrus.
isn't that the wild berry one or like
Wild
the
berry's the purple. There's fruit punch, like a berry
so it's
one.
like a tropical
Yeah, that's
one.
what it is.
Yeah.
Tropical one. That's my favorite.
I think I like the purple one better.
I'm really afraid that this is gonna go everywhere.
Do it for the content.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Oh god, don't get it
Okay.
on your dress.
Okay. Okay. Nope.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
there you go.
Okay,
It's just on the floor. Yep. It's
can I have that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can have that.
Yeah. Technical difficulties with the pops.
Oh, that's not it.
Never gonna give you up.
A tuft of paper. Okay, review. Do you like it?
So I only opened it a little bit, so it's like just juice, but I like it. It tastes, you don't even taste the alcohol.
Okay, well, I can taste the alcohol in this bad boy.
Mm-hmm. I don't taste it in my ASMR. ASMR. I don't taste it in the lemonade one. I would let
Oh my god.
I would let you taste this, but I just like mouthed it so hard.
I didn't deep throat mine yet. Do you want to try it? Yeah, you're getting all your fucking
Mouth.
You're gross.
Goodbye, every single person who has listened to this podcast already.
Yeah, they got on for 5 seconds and they were like, canceled.
Absolutely destroyed. Okay, well, I think I like these better than the actual like Trulies because I'm not into like not very into the
Sweet.
not even sweet. It's just I think the carbonation kind of messes with my stomach.
I just want you to know I just made eye contact with you and you were like,
Yeah. All right. What do you give it?
what are we rating out of? 1 to 10 or 1
I
to
would
5?
say 1 to 5.
1 to 5?
Yeah.
It's a little too sweet for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'd give it a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like on a hot day,
Yeah.
instead of
I'm not
drinking
eating
Trulies,
these in the winter. No way.
I would definitely suck on one of these.
I'd suck on one of these.
I definitely would. If this was an option, maybe over drinking the Truly lemonade, I would have this.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for
Because
sure.
the Truly lemonades are way too sweet for me.
Nice, yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree with the lemonade. They're being too sweet, yeah. Okay. So I would give mine probably a 3.5. I'm not drinking it in the winter. I'm not eating these in the winter. No way. I'm going red wine winter.
Red wine winter.
Mm-hmm.
I almost just said red wine winter.
That's my name of my emo band. Red wine winter.
Sounds depressing.
All right.
Are you going to keep drinking it?
I will.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't suck on these the entire time.
The
So it's just
entire
gonna
time, yeah. I'm just going to put it right here. I will drink it after, though, because I don't want ASMR, Danielle and Morgan all the time.
Why not?
All right, let's move on, because we spent way too long on alcohol.
That's okay. Okay.
But it is half the name of our...
Booze and reviewed we have.
I
to
just
review.
stroked out.
Booze.
The booze. All right.
Okay. So, during the podcast, we are going to review books that maybe our listeners haven't read yet. And, for example, there's a book that Danielle read this month that I don't really care to read. I'm not saying that
Morgan hates everything that I read.
that I maybe don't care to listen to.
To
Jesus
read.
Christ. To read. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So lost my train of thought. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So when we review these books, we're going to do a little thing that says, we're going to just say spoiler alert before. And if you want to read the book and not get any spoilers, you're going to skip forward 30 seconds.
Yes.
So that you guys do not get the book spoiled, but you can still continue to listen to the podcast.
Right. So we're going to do a little timer. When we say spoiler alert,
Skip.
I'm going to start this and we're going to give all the spoilers for 30 seconds. So if you read the book, keep listening. But if you are currently reading or it's on your TBR, then skip ahead. We're going to say 30 seconds. And if we don't get into the 30 seconds, then I guess that's our own problem.
Yeah.
So let's start.
Do you want to start with 522 days?
We can start with 342 days.
Okay, great.
So why don't actually you talk about the books that you read first for this month?
All right. So I read I Hunt Killers, which I can't remember the author and I didn't bring it with me. And then I Hunt Killers by Barry Lyga. And it was I'm not giving any spoilers because Morgan hasn't read it and
I want to read it.
it's a thriller. I would say it's a YA thriller. It's pretty good. I would say I think I give it a 3. If any of you have watched the show Prodigal Son, it's very Prodigal Son, and it's super good.
Good.
I'd say if you're into a fast read and like thrillers, it's a go. And then I read Anatomy of a Murderer, which was something I don't normally read. And it's I went to look for a good different mystery, and
You dropped the ball.
I
hardcore.
dropped the ball so hard. It wasn't a bad book. It was a slow burn.
Okay.
And it wasn't what I expected, to say the least.
It was like a courtroom.
It's a courtroom drama. That's what they called it. It's a
Okay.
courtroom drama, and it's interesting because it takes place in the late 1950s into the early 60s. So it's really old and spoilers. So skip ahead if you haven't already.
I already started the
It's
goddamn
okay.
thing.
I'm gonna keep going.
Okay,
I'm gonna keep
okay.
going. So, spoiler alert: it's about a courtroom case that has a guy murdered another guy who raped his wife, and basically, in the 50s, rape wasn't a thing that they could convict as a crime.
Okay.
So the whole basis is
You got 4 seconds, girl.
yeah.
Done.
Okay, so.
You didn't give any spoilers in that 30
It was
seconds.
kind of, but like anyway, yeah. So it wasn't what I expected. It's pretty slow. But I'm glad that I read it because it's outside of my genres that I normally read, which is pretty much thrillers, mysteries, and sometimes fantasies. So, I mean,
Okay.
it was good. I think I gave it a 4 because the ending just. So yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
The ending's good, but you gotta take it. You gotta get through it to get to that. So yeah.
Gotta not.
And then the last one I read, which also Morgan read.
Do I have it back here?
It's 522 days, also known as 56 days.
346 days.
Also known as
So,
56 days.
while Danielle and I were reading this, I, the smart person that I am, would always say that it was 57 days. And as you can see by the title,
It's 56.
so I said, I started 57 days. And this smartass next to me said, ooh, what's that about?
What? I've never heard of that book. What's that book about?
So the long running joke for the rest of our lives is going to be,
Oh! It's going to be, and we'll throw the book at Danielle. It's any number besides 56 days.
362 days.
We are here for 2021 days.
Yep.
All right, this is where we're going to get into it because
Okay. Yes.
I know you only gave it a 3.5. I gave it a 4.
So I think
We're going to put this in front of Søren
let's talk
really
about
quick.
302 days.
699 days.
So for anybody listening that has not read 56 Days, we are going to talk spoilers. Not so much the 30-second spoilers, but Danielle and I both read this. and
Yeah,
we
we're
don't-
going to go into it a little bit.
Yes.
Just because we both read it, and we won't spend too long on it just because we want to get into Survive the Night, because
Yes.
Survive the Night is our main book, and we want to
Yes.
that's something.
So, 56 days. Let me just read.
Yeah, a little synopsis.
Damn it,
Actually,
I just called it 56 days.
how?
how-
221 days.
Thank you. So, the
You-
synopsis.
Oh, okay.
Sierra and Oliver meet in a supermarket queue in Dublin 56 days ago and start dating the same week COVID-19 reaches Irish shores. 35 days ago, when lockdown threatens to keep them apart, Oliver suggests they move in together. Sierra sees a unique opportunity for a relationship to flourish without the scrutiny of family and friends. Oliver sees a chance to hide who and what he really is.
Dun dun dun.
Today, detectives arrive at Oliver's apartment to discover a decomposing body inside. Can they determine what really happened, or has lockdown created an opportunity for someone to commit the perfect crime? Danielle and I read 493 Days this month.
999,999 days.
Catherine Ryan Howard. So let's
We're keeping it.
so let's talk. Danielle, what did you rate it? Tell me.
I rated it a
We didn't even
4.
say that
Oh, well, we can do it now. What did you rate it?
Okay. So I rated it a 3.5.
Okay.
I rated it a 3.5. What about you?
I rated it a 4. So when we get into this, we're going to just do spoilers. So if you want to read this book, you need to just, how about this? So we'll take 56 days away when we're done talking about it. So scroll until you're done seeing 56 days. And then that's when we're going to start talking about Survive the Night.
What about our podcast listeners? Not everybody's.
Oh, okay. I'll make a crow sound. That's when you know we're done.
I just would like to note that my husband is in the living room knowing that we're doing a podcast right now, and he's probably just hearing Danielle make bird sounds and wondering what the fuck is going on.
Honestly, what time is it right now? 11:53.
Okay, how about this? I'll start timing.
Yeah.
When we're done.
Yeah.
And then we can
say go this amount of time.
Yeah,
Okay. So we'll let you know.
This is gonna be a
spot it. It's fine. All right, it's fine.
Okay. So you rated it a 4. Tell me why.
I freaking loved it. I think I just loved the way, I'm a big person who loves timeline books, and the way she did the timeline in this was so good because like she goes through the events as normal and then the twists come and then she repeats what we already read so that you can get the point of view, from when you see what they actually are. And I absolutely love unreliable narrators. Love that. I love it because I'm like, I hate these people so freaking much. And I think that's why I get so excited about it, because I just don't like these people. And it makes me like, okay, why don't I like these people? I need to know. This is why. So yeah, I liked it. The middle twist was so good. And then I just liked that the ending kind of rounded it out and like closed the book, and I was like, I'm satisfied. But you, on the other hand,
I hated the ending. So we find out that Sierra is Shane's sister, which that was a great twist.
So good.
That was a great twist. I will admit.
So good.
But then at the ending, the detectives are like, maybe this Sierra girl was Laura all along, or Laura.
Yeah, Laura. Yeah,
Laura. Okay, maybe she was Laura all along, and I was like, holy shit, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, if it just like was like, actually Sierra's not real, it's Laura.
Right, or like maybe he was really a whack job and was like hallucinating her.
Yeah.
There could have been so many different ways that this author went, and she set that up with the detectives saying that Sierra could be Laura. I was like, oh my god, okay. And then like 4 pages later the book ends and it doesn't say anything about that again, and I was like, then why bring it up?
Yeah, you know, I think it was just because, now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's because it kind of shows that the cops really don't really know what's going on. They have no clue who Sierra is, and that's why I think she wrote it so that like we know that she's gonna get her closure and they're not gonna find her. There's no way. Because like she made the perfect crime. She literally did it. She deleted.
She didn't even do anything.
But she did. But she technically, yeah. But she saved herself from all the steps she did to try to find this man. So I don't know. I loved that she was Shane's sister.
Can we just talk about how fucking stupid moving in with somebody during COVID and not talking about it with any family members?
We have so many dumb characters to talk about today.
Many
dumb characters.
It blows my mind because you don't know this person and you're not even telling anybody.
They met 3 days ago and they're like, hey, let's move in together.
And she's like, yeah, great idea.
Also,
what the fuck?
Let's take a moment. This is set in 2021. It goes over the COVID-19 pandemic. This is what it's the setting. So you would think, Killer. Absolute
murderer.
Either Sierra or Oliver. Who knows? Because they're both psychos.
And it just really blew my mind. Like, obviously she didn't tell anybody, so no one was able to tell her, no, this is a bad idea. But if I moved in with somebody, I would at least maybe tell you.
Oh, yeah. Tell somebody.
Tell one person, not like
the
friends,
one
family.
frickin' person.
Yeah,
like if you're not comfortable with telling your mother or your family members, tell a friend. So your friend's gonna judge you for half a second and then be like, I'm gonna go back to my own life and check on her every once in a while.
Unless it's me. I would judge you hardcore.
Oh, sure.
If
Absolutely.
You told me, if you had met somebody.
Yeah, and was like just moved in with them in like 48 hours.
I would make sure that
we
you
need
were
to
alive.
we need to rethink your processing of mental, Danielle, because
Oh my gosh, I would risk COVID to get you out of there.
yeah,
I
that's
want you to know that.
I don't yeah, but that's what the whole thing is like, okay, there's a reason why this girl decides after 3 days to go, and we figure
Right,
that
we
out
know that
after,
now.
but like, because clearly as the reader you're like, wow, this person's an idiot. No one in their right mind would actually do that. And if you have, so sorry, I'm not judging you, but
I am. I am judging you.
I'm not. Go do what you want. I don't care.
3 days.
3
My
freaking
goodness.
days. But yeah, I don't know. And they're met in like
The grocery store.
the grocery store.
But he was they were stalking each other.
Yeah, they were stalking each other.
And how, like, honestly, I
don't know. Whatever. I loved it. It was good. The twists were good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she wasn't Paul's sister. I keep saying brother.
Frig is Paul.
Paul's
Oh,
the
victim.
the kid that got killed.
Yep, the victim. Okay.
I would be so sad if if it ended up being that, because I think it wouldn't has been exciting as it was.
Yeah.
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 I kind of wish that I got to see Paul's family side of the story a little bit, just to kind of know, but that's just me being like, oh, I need to know all the sides of the story.
Yeah. I enjoyed, if the ending wasn't as, like, quick and closed off as it was, I feel like I would have given it a higher rating.
And the other thing about the ending is they really never told us what she had. Did they? Like what she was
The
dying
mom?
from?
Yeah, I don't remember.
They never said anything. So you kind of, I think it's got to be something to do with like mental slowdown or something, because it sounds like she's had like bad days and good days. It's got to be Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with, like, her cognitive,
Yeah.
memory and stuff like that, because she, like, didn't remember, because at the end she got on the phone and she was like, "Hi Mom, it's Sierra."
Yeah, and she's like, I gotta
She
tell
wants to
you.
see her.
No, it's on the phone.
on the phone 'cause
Yeah,
of
because
COVID. You're right,
and
you're
she
right.
was on the beach. Remember, and she had to run to get to a reception because her sister couldn't hear her. And she was like, "Hey, Mom, I got something to say about Shane."
I gotta tell you something. I don't remember her being on a beach because I was just so ready to be done with the book that I just skimmed.
I loved this book. I loved it. If you like timeline based books and unreliable narrators and whatnot, this is a book for you. If you're somebody who likes a lot more twists and a lot more mind-blowing things, maybe it's not for you, as Morgan has said.
I would still recommend this book, though.
Yeah, it's
I would
good.
still recommend this is.
Leaking.
I would still recommend this book. I'm mailing this book to one of my friends on Bookstagram. So, like, I wouldn't have given it to her if I thought it sucked,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I still did enjoy it, I will say, and just the ending just wasn't for me. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Well, to wrap it up, I guess, read 925 days.
432 days on the dot.
Yes. Go ahead and read it. I highly praise it. I think you should go get it. And do you have any other things you want to say about 299 days?
No, I do not.
All right. So let's move on. So, yeah.
What other books did you read this month other than Survive the Night?
That's it. Just I Hunt Killers, Anatomy of a Murderer, and 229 days.
Okay.
What did you read? Let's get into what Morgan read.
So obviously I read 342 days. So we're not going to talk about that again. I read One Last Stop, which is not usually on in my genre of choice. It's more of like, I feel like it was a romance book.
Okay, guys. I also read this book, so if you want to read One Last Stop and have not read it yet, you are going to want to skip through this one as well.
I'll do another timer.
Let's talk for 7 minutes about it, because that's how much we did the last one.
Okay, 7 minutes. 7 minutes.
So,
And it's still time it.
yep.
Okay.
So, we're good at things.
So, One Last Stop. I can pull up
One Last
Goodreads
Stop by, I
synopsis.
think her name's Catherine.
Casey
Casey
McQuiston.
McQuiston. She is a goddess of romance.
Okay, let's see.
So good. Also, let it be known that I've read 3 romances in my life. So I have very little perspective on romance.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
For cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City is supposed to prove her right that things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that, and there's certainly no chance of her subway commute being anything more than a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then, there's this gorgeous girl on the train, Jane. Dazzling, charming, mysterious, impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile, showing up in a leather jacket to save August's day when she needed it most. August's subway crush becomes the best part of her day, but pretty soon she discovers there's one big problem. Jane doesn't just look like an old-school punk rocker. She's literally displaced in time from the 1970s, and August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past to help her. Maybe it's time to start believing in some things, after all. Casey McQuiston's One Last Stop is a magical, sexy, big-hearted romance where the impossible becomes possible as August does everything in her power to save the girl lost in time. So let me just say.
You go into it and I will add, because this is what you read and you've read it way more. I read it last month, so you have more perspective.
Reading that synopsis, I would not have read this book. I wouldn't have, because all of that just screams romance, and romance is not real. But then you suggested this book, and then one of my friends from work suggested this book, and I was like, you know what? Okay, whatever. Because I had previously read Sky Falling.
Oh, right, yeah.
Romance, and I did enjoy that book. So I was like, I'll give it a chance. And I think I rated this book 4 stars. I'm going to go back to my Goodreads.
I also rated it a 4.
Where's my rate?
I love this book.
Yes, I rated it a 4 stars. So, I don't really have too much to say. I really enjoyed the roommates and how like all over the place they were in the best way.
Don't you want to be friends with them?
Yes.
They literally are the best humans in the world, and like they're like all just little oddballs.
Yeah.
In the best way possible. And not even like odd in a bad way. It's just that they are people who don't fit into society. But they do. It's like, I don't know. I love them. I love every single one of them.
I really loved just how they worked together, meshed together, how their living situation, they were just the best friends.
And they didn't even judge it. Like, they didn't judge each other because they were all different. Like, okay, so like, oh my gosh, I can't remember their names. What's his,
August is the main character.
August, and then there's the fortune teller guy.
I can't remember. I don't have the book with me.
I wrote down my favorite character because he was my favorite. Favorite characters. Nico was transgender, and when August went to the refrigerator and was like, oh, who's this cute little girl? There's a picture of a little girl on the refrigerator, and Nico was like, that's me. And she was like, oh. And that was the end of the discussion. Mm-hmm. It was so nice. And there's other like moments like that where like they discover each other, and like somebody's a drag queen, and then like it was just like awesome. Oh, okay. We're done. Yeah, this is you. Yes. I accept you as who you are, and it's great. And I loved that about that part. Like just this book. It's just like an accepting book of like whatever you are, whatever you like.
Yeah.
You are that person, and then I don't know. It's just a nice read because it's just like
it was very heartwarming.
For sure.
It was very heartwarming, and I also feel like they didn't judge August when she was like, I'm in love with a ghost from the 70s.
Yeah. What? How bizarre is that? And they were just like, cool.
They were like, cool, let's go see how we can save her.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was sort of semi-fantasy because of like that.
The timeline, and then like how Jane's stuck on the subway.
Yeah. And the way that they like fixed it, and then spoiler, she ends up staying.
I know.
And then when she came into the pancake house, come on. Okay. I live for that.
Okay, so that's why I gave it a 4. Because I think I would have liked it if Jane didn't come back. And because August became so independent at the end of the book,
yeah,
she became so independent, and she like kind of was like, her own person at the end. And I think I would have liked it a little bit more if Jane kind of stayed in the 1970s and then August kind of just continued her life and found another love. But
yeah, okay, go ahead.
I love Jane. Love Jane.
I think I was texting you while I was reading this, and I also had the same thing. I was like, I don't want this to be a happy ending. But then Jane didn't come back for a while.
Which was so random.
So I was reading and I was like, okay, good. She's not going to come back. And then the more I read, I was like, no, I want her to come back.
Come back, Jane.
I want her to come back for August because they were literally perfect together.
They were so perfect.
And then she walked into the pancake house and my heart, let me tell you, I think I had a little bit of tears in my eyes when I was reading it. I was like, yes. This is the happy ending that I never, ever asked for.
Listen, and they had Earth, Wind, and Fire in the background playing while she walked in. Holy cow, let's get that moment happening. Yes. Love the music references in all these books and stuff.
There was a lot of music references in
every single book.
Yeah. I did enjoy that, though.
Nice. What else did you read?
So that's 6 minutes.
So that was 6 minutes of One Last Stop. So good job. Good book. Yes, love that book.
Did really enjoy that.
Everyone should read that. I also have Red, White, and Royal Blue on my list to read, which is also by her. And people rave about that one. So
yes, I've heard good things about that. I don't know if I'll read it just because this was so far out of my genre. But I did enjoy it, so I might.
Okay, well, I own it, so you can borrow.
Good to know.
Next book.
The next book that I read was The Chestnut Man. This bad boy was 500 pages. And I did not know that when I got it as a Book of the Month add-on. I saw it was a horror book, and I was like, you know what? I don't really read horror, so let's try it. And then it came in the mail, and it was like 3 times the size of this. And I was like, okay, that's going to sit on my bookshelf for a hot minute. I think I got this 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And I just read it this month. I have a lot of books that are on my bookshelf. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to look at that either. These are mostly Josh's. So not my problem.
Take it for what it's worth. Hers is way bigger.
It is. Yes, mine is a lot bigger. Anyway, so The Chestnut Man. I'm not going to get into spoilers on this because you didn't read this.
Yeah, and I think I kind of want to read it, but it's like on my way back burner.
Yeah. I'm not going to give spoilers just because I feel like there's so many aspects to talk about for this. There were so many characters. And it was set in, I think it's Denmark. I think it was set in Denmark. And they just had character names that were very different than what like we
normally are, yeah.
So they had like, I wish I had the, I literally wrote all of their names on my bookmark. Because they switched point of views.
Oh.
So they had, and they referred, so there was detectives in it. So they referred to the detectives as their last names.
Oh, so then it got even more confusing.
Yes. So there was like Lauren, but it wasn't spelled Lauren.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
There was also, I can't remember any of their names. But it was a lot of characters that I just needed to like write down. Because I was like, who the heck is this person? Because we had Rosa and her husband and their 2 children that they kept bringing up. We had Lauren, her boyfriend, her daughter, her father, and then some of the other detectives. So like maybe 3 or 4 other detectives. And then it was like a murdery book. So then the victims and their families were also brought into it. So
oh my gosh, so many characters.
All these names that I was just like, I got to maybe through 3 chapters and I was like, I need to write these down because I can't remember. And it did help out a lot.
Yeah.
But basically, it was your typical like, I don't want to say murder mystery because that makes me think of like Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But it was more of like a, I reviewed it as a Criminal Minds episode.
Ooh, okay, okay.
So, like, you know how in Criminal Minds, the first murder happens, and then they get wind of it.
Yep.
They get on it, and then they try and stop it again, but then the second murder happens.
Oh, interesting.
And then the third murder, they stop.
Okay.
It's kind of like that, and that's not a giveaway of...
Like, no spoilers.
That's not a spoiler, no, but it's just, like, I feel like every Criminal Minds episode is like that.
See, when you describe it like that, it makes me want to read it.
It was very, like, it's a horror book for a reason. It's kind of gory at times. Like, this isn't a spoiler, but they the victims have like limbs amputated
Oh boy.
while they're alive.
Oh boy.
And some of the parts are a little into detail.
Yeah.
Like I think the first chapter, I was reading it and it talked about a guy getting axed in the head.
Oh. Yes. So very,
very gory.
Oh, God.
If you don't like books like that, then maybe this one isn't for you. I did rate it a 4 out of 5. I did just enjoy the fact that it was a Criminal Minds episode in a book. I really don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
But these people get murdered, and there's a little chestnut man made out of chestnuts
At the scene of the crime.
Scene of the crime.
Dun dun dun.
And then you're like reading the point of view of the victims as they're like getting ready to be murdered, because like they're walking around the house and they're like, oh, I just heard like a weird noise. What the heck? And then they turn around, there's a chestnut man sitting on there. And then that's how they know that they're going to die. And then the chapter ends.
Ugh!
So it was good.
Yeah.
It was very good. I don't remember why I didn't rate it a 5-star.
Probably just the characters. A lot of characters.
It was a lot of characters, a lot of point of view switches. But by the end, we ended up getting to maybe like 3 or 4. Oh, you know what? I remember why I didn't rate it a 5-star. This is not a spoiler, but the killer was, like we found out who the killer was, and I wasn't impressed.
Dun dun dun.
No, nothing further than that. But that's just why I didn't rate it a 5-star. Because I was like, really? Okay, I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
But then the ending was just kind of like a normal ending.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Interesting.
So
it sounds good.
You can borrow it anytime.
I will. I think I will, because that sounds really good. I think I might save it for October. I might borrow it. Yeah, for spooky reads.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you read anything else?
Let's see. Well, let's stop. Chestnut Man, 432 days. I read Survive the Night. Before we get into Survive the Night, actually, that was a horrible segue on my part.
Did you like my face? I was like,
yeah, you were like,
Survive the Night.
What?
Oh, I see.
Aside from
I know
Survive
what
the
you're gonna
Night,
say.
What was your favorite read
Of the month?
of the month? Not. I mean, if it's Survive the Night, then it's Survive the Night, but maybe without Survive the Night.
Without Survive the Night, 299 days.
Okay.
With Survive the Night, Survive the Night.
Okay.
I loved.
I know the answer to this question, but what was your least favorite?
Anatomy of a Murderer.
I figured.
What was yours?
For my favorite, again, if
This
we're
is not in it.
including- If we're including, then it was Survive the Night.
Okay, if it's
we're
not.
I think 342 days as well.
Wow, really? Yeah.
Yeah, because One Last Stop, again, was not in my genre thing. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where it's just ranking lower
Yep.
because it's not in my genre. And then Chestnut Man, I feel like just was way too long.
Yeah.
I like quick thrillers.
Me too.
I like to be able to finish them maybe in one sitting or maybe 2 sittings.
I think you should read I Hunt Killers, because it sounds very similar to Chestnut Man,
Okay.
but faster paced, because it's YA. So it's like
Yeah.
YA, authors
I
just get
won't like it
right
if
into
it's
it.
YA.
No. I think you should give it a shot.
Okay. Well, it's on my bookshelf. Clearly, it's on this back bookshelf because I never come back here. So it's one that kind of got pushed to the side. But
I have a lot of those.
my favorite read, if we're not including, was 342 Days. My least favorite, I think, would be One Last Stop.
Oh, dang.
But
That's only because she doesn't read romances.
I read good books this month.
Yeah.
I didn't read like one that stuck out and I was like, this is a dud.
Yeah.
I read good books this month, so I think that's just saying all of the books that I read were
It's hard to
amazing.
choose one that's bad,
good.
but when they're super good. Yeah.
So that's what I would say. So are we gonna discuss Survive the Night?
Survive the night. Okay. Well, I know you wanted to discuss this. So Morgan is a Riley Sager fan. She's read
Yes.
every single Riley Sager book that he has
Yes.
written. So when I said, hey, let's start a podcast. Well, when we decided, I didn't say, hey, let's start a podcast. When we decided to start a podcast, we're like, we got to read Riley Sager.
Yes.
Duh.
I think you need to read every single book that he's ever. It's only 5. Come on.
I know.
It's
I
only
read,
5.
well, I
Come
might
on.
got a head start.
You read 2 of them.
Right. So I've read Final Girls and Survive the Night. And then Morgan,
Has read every
every single one of them. Before I go into my little my little idea, like just a little how I like Riley Sager. We're going to have her go first because she read all of them, and I want to know how she rates all of them
Okay.
from top.
Okay.
Well, go your least favorite to your favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Least favorite's really easy. I'm really sorry, Riley Sager. I did not like Lock Every Door.
And that's the one everybody knows, I feel like, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also, let me just say, I read these books not realizing that Riley Sager wrote these books.
Oh,
Like,
you just like happen to
I
have
just-
them.
Yeah, well, I got them from the library, I think.
Oh, interesting. So you're like an anonymous Riley Sager fan because you didn't even know.
I didn't know, and then I was like, oh, what other, because I think I realized that Riley Sager had written Home Before Dark, and I loved Home Before Dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let me see all the other books that he's written, and at that point, I had already read Last Time I Lied and Lock Every Door. I think I just needed to read Final Girls.
And I think I told you to read Final Girls, and you're like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get it.
So I had no idea.
That's so
was all
funny.
the same author. Like, I just got them because
The synopsises were
Yeah,
like
sounded
right up
good.
your alley.
and then I was like, I want to read every single book that he's ever written. And you know what? I already did. And that was like a disappointment at the same time of like good for me.
Yeah, you like did it, and like you're like a closet Riley Sager fan until you read this book, and you're like, holy cow, I've read all this books.
Yeah. So if I had to rate them, my lowest would be Lock Every Door. I just didn't really like it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about it. I didn't really care for it. I still, according to Goodreads, I rated it 4 stars. I think I rated it a 3.5, like in real life. So that's 5. 4, I think, would be Final Girls.
Oh,
I
have no opinion because I have not read any other ones. So
I liked Final Girls. Again, my Goodreads says I rated it 4 stars.
Oh, okay. So
I
they're pretty
rated all of
hard.
His books 4 to 5 stars.
he's a good author.
These are not my ratings. These are the freaking Goodreads ratings.
Oh,
Well, okay.
so she probably gave them all 5s, honestly.
Lock Every Door I gave 3 stars.
Oh,
Lock Every Door I gave 3 stars.
okay,
Final Girls I gave 4 stars.
okay. Then your
And
next one, your third.
The Last Time I Lied.
Okay, I want to read that so bad.
That one's at the camp. She's a
Oh,
camp counselor.
yeah, I need to read that.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
That's the middle for me. I rated it 4 stars, and I rated it 4 full stars. I didn't do like 3.
3.5. Yeah.
So then Home Before Dark, the ending is the only reason why I did not give it 5 stars.
Oh, okay.
Because as we've come to find out, Riley Sager has a lot of plot twists up his
So
sleeve.
many plot twists.
He will give us a plot twist, and then we're like, wow, this is a good book. And then we're like, holy shit, there's another plot twist.
Bam.
So that's what happened in Home Before Dark, but there was a couple plot twists near the end that were so in succession
That you're like, what the frig?
that I thought it was too much.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, Home Before Dark was Haunting of Hill House in a book.
Oh. I need to read that.
Yes,
Also,
you do.
as going on in my October reads, I'm going to have so many spooky
Yes.
reads.
I loved, and I told one of my friends on Bookstagram that, because she posted, like, what should I read? And I said that one, and I was like, it is a Haunting of Hill House in a book. Like, not the
Not,
stupid
yeah,
book,
yeah, yeah.
the TV show.
Oh, okay, I
The
get it,
TV
yeah.
show, the TV show
Yeah, uh-huh.
in a book.
Okay. Good to know.
And then I sent it to her, and she was like, holy shit, you're right. So she also thought it was the same thing. So then, coming in at number
Hot
1
in number 1.
is Survive the Night with 5 stars.
Gosh.
And this is just a
Darn
great
it.
segue. because
Also,
we read
wait, before we
Survive the Night.
segue really fast,
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, I don't know if you knew this. Home Before Dark is glow in the dark. The cover is glow in the
Shut up.
dark. I swear. I saw it on Book Instagram, and my mind exploded. Somebody, I don't know if it was a Reels or if they like did a picture of it in the like the light and then like in the dark. It glows in the dark. The cover glows in the dark. Is that bananas?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it glows in the, I don't know if it's a certain edition or if it's
Oh.
like, but I saw that and I was like, what the frig? This is cool as heck.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
I didn't
just
know
a
that.
surprise for anybody who has Home
Home Before Dark.
Before Dark.
Yep.
But anyway, back to the segue. The book that we want to discuss and hear about and spend a lot of time on because we spent a lot of time reading it. Yes.
Yeah.
So what we did is, I don't know how we're going to discuss it. We'll probably just go with the
We could
flow.
just, we'll just go with
What
the
we
flow.
did, and I thought this was going to be brilliant, but it wasn't in the end. We broke it up into parts. So we did 40-ish pages a day to kind of break it apart, and then we could talk about it. But then we're like, well, we can't talk about this because we got to save all of our thoughts and our emotions.
Danielle and I have not spoken
one word
about this book at all.
Yeah. There was one night, Morgan and I and our boyfriend's, boyfriend, went to drive-in, and Morgan's like, we have an hour to read. And I'm like, you have company and we can hang out and talk to each other, and you're going to read it.
Read.
We're reading. And she goes, in the middle of like our quiet moment, all of a sudden she goes, ah! And I'm like, what the heck? And then maybe 10 minutes later, I'm like, ah!
Yep.
And that was like really early into the book.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I really think that the breaking up of this book just so happened to work out perfectly.
Yeah.
Because all of the anxiety that I had reading this book was heightened because I was
builds
like,
it up.
I have to stop reading.
Yes.
If we didn't buddy read this book, I feel like I would have read this in
one whole day. Oh yeah, same. I literally probably would have finished it in maybe 48 hours.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it's just like you want to know what's going to happen next because it's like, anxiety.
Read slow. I have to close the book. Damn it.
Yeah, it's like
it was really good.
So
we broke
so
it down.
good.
I have my notes. You have your notes.
I do too.
So we broke it down. We read 34 pages, or page 34 to page 70, 102, 130, 162, 182, 226, 264. Just seeing my notes. And then I think we had another one in between, but at the very end, I was like, Danielle, I really can't wait another day.
She's like, I gotta read. And I think I finished it maybe the next morning.
Yeah, so we didn't stick to the very end.
But
yeah.
To give you the effect of extra heightened anxiety, split it up because it makes you want to poop your pants.
Honestly, the way that you split it up, I know you didn't mean to do it like purposely, but
it worked. Perfect. It worked. Yeah.
Perfect.
Also, I have to say, there was one night when I was reading this, when we were in the middle of reading this, and I had a nightmare about being in a car and like,
oh my god,
it gave me nightmares because it's so real. Like the horror is real. Like this could happen in real life.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, yeah.
Again, but this is also the 70s, 80s,
90s.
90s.
Yeah, it's the 90s.
90s. I don't know why.
It's okay. It's 70s. Yeah.
But times are a little bit different then.
Mm-hmm.
I would not
way
get into
different
a car with some random person from college
to
go home, but you know, again, times have changed.
Also, no cell phones.
Yes.
Robbie had a cell phone, but it was one of those big chunky ones that had like an antenna that you pull up.
Yep.
And then, but he was the only character that had a cell phone.
Yep.
There were payphones, and that was about it. And
that adds to the anxiety too.
Whole anxiety. So, basically, do you want to read the synopsis?
Sure. I'll just read it from the book.
Okay.
Okay.
So, let's get into the synopsis.
Okay.
So you can get an idea of what this is about.
So, here we go. It's November 1991. Nirvana's in the tape deck. George H.W. Bush is in the White House. And movie-obsessed college student Charlie Jordan is in the car with a man who might be a serial killer. Josh Baxter, the man behind the wheel, is a virtual stranger to Charlie. They met at the campus ride board, each looking to share the long drive home to Ohio. Both have good reasons for wanting to get away. For Charlie, it's guilt and grief over the shocking murder of her best friend, who became the third victim of the man known as the campus killer. For Josh, it's to help care for his sick father. Or so he says. The longer she sits in the passenger seat, the more Charlie notices there's something suspicious about Josh. From the holes in his story about his father to how he doesn't want her to see inside the trunk. As they travel an empty, twisted highway in the dead of night, an increasingly anxious Charlie begins to think she's sharing a car with the campus killer. Is Josh truly dangerous? Or is Charlie's jittery mistrust merely a figment of her movie-fueled imagination? One thing is certain, Charlie has nowhere to run and no way to call for help, trapped in a terrifying game of cat and mouse played out on pitch black roads and in neon lit parking lots. Charlie knows the only way to win is survive the night. Also, I can't fucking read, apparently.
Oh man, you should next time I'll read the synopsis and then you'll see who can't read. My gosh. So let's start. So you already said you gave it a 5, right?
Yes, I gave it a 5.
Me too. Oh, this book was so good.
Yes.
So good. I loved that it was 90s. I loved the movie references. I loved the music references. I loved the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Loved so much of it. And I loved that I had anxiety the whole way through. I loved it. Riley Sager can do no wrong.
Honestly.
Do no wrong. Literally chef's kiss to this book. Like, absolute greatness.
So, how do you want to start talking about this?
Let's just go and just talk about it because there's so much.
So, I took some notes on the first
Okay.
thing. So, obviously Charlie is the main character. Maddie was her roommate that was murdered.
Best friend murdered.
Yes. So at this point when I was reading, I put from Hitchhiking Incident because I didn't know.
So, Maddie, this is from. Does it reveal how she gets murdered in the first few pages or
no?
Okay, we
keep
going.
Find out until the end. Towards the end.
Well, not how. Well, we know how what the scene was when she got murdered.
Yes, but
okay.
We don't know how.
Yeah.
Okay. So Robbie is Charlie's boyfriend. Josh is this mystery driver, and Josh and Charlie meet up at the ride board.
Yep.
To get a ride back to Ohio because Charlie wants to leave and she doesn't want to wait until Robbie can bring her back, which is
it's what 3-4 days later.
I think so. So she didn't want to wait that time. She was having a rough time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the drive was from New Jersey to Ohio, which seems like it'd be a long drive. I think they said it was like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Something like
something
that.
Around that. Yeah, they could do it in a day or night.
Yeah, a night.
Survive the night. Sorry, I kicked you.
So some of my notes that I just have here, and chime in whenever. Before she gets into the drive, she has a bottle of pills, and she's like, "I don't need these."
Right, and she's like, "See ya, bye." She dumps them in the drain.
Yeah, so I was like, "This is a great start to." Never mind, we're not gonna get there yet.
Unreliable narrator. Hello.
Yes, when she throws out her medication, and I was like, "Okay, here we go."
Whatever it is, depression, anxiety pills. You can't just take yourself off those. No. You can't just be like, "Hi, bye."
Yeah.
No. But they might have not known that in the 90s. Who knows? But not a good idea. And here is where we begin to be like, Charlie,
come on.
What are you doing?
Come on.
You are 24, 25, 22, whatever, however old you are in college. Let's get it together. I understand she's going through a loss. Her best friend just got murdered. Mm-hmm. And you're terrified to be on campus. But my God, your brain just doesn't stop functioning correctly. But whatever.
So, when Charlie goes to get into Josh's car, he blocks the trunk.
Yeah.
He stands
in an angle so she can't see it, right?
Right, because he was like, "Oh, I'll just put your stuff in the trunk. Don't worry about it." And she's like, "Okay." And she picked up on it too. She was like, "That's really weird. Why is he blocking the trunk?" And she was like, "Charlie, relax. Don't be a fucking psycho."
Yeah. Also, wouldn't that be
a red flag number one? Maybe?
Red flag number one, not to get in the car with this person, or to have some balls and be like, "What you got there? What you got there, bud?"
Right, or just maybe step to see if he's gonna actually block you.
Yeah,
that was just the
There's
angle.
so many moves that she could have done that could have been helped her out. Yeah, or been like, I'm gonna stay on campus.
Yeah.
Also, no one gets in a car with a stranger like that.
It's not even like they knew each other. It's
no.
not like they were distant friends through a friend.
No.
They didn't know each other.
They had no clue who each other were. No information about each other at all.
And he had said that he worked on campus.
Right. That's the only thing she knew about him.
But
he works on campus.
I have an actual quote from the book. I don't remember what page it's on, but it says, "But Josh wears it uncomfortably," talking about the uniform for school, almost like these are not his normal clothes. So they were giving a lot of things away, I feel like, in the first couple
in the beginning.
Pages.
That's
I was kind of annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes if you baby the reader, we can't figure stuff out for ourselves, and then we're just given a lot of information.
But I think he needed to do that because, there's so much happening.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I ended up...
But no, I totally get it. I totally get what you mean because, you gotta let us figure it out for ourselves at the same time. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
The next thing, and again, you can chime in. I'm reading.
No, that's fine. I think though I like the way you're doing this.
Okay. the other thing that she noticed is that Josh is driving exactly the speed limit, probably not to get pulled over.
Right.
So I put in my notes, is he a fugitive? Is he wanted? Like,
yeah, why is
What's
he
gonna
being
happen?
so careful?
And
Yeah,
then
I think it says something about like he only goes 5 over or like right at the speed limit.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I was like, nobody goes right at the speed limit.
Except for me, because I suck at driving and I would kill
Except for
myself.
Mike.
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
is a grandma.
Yeah, Mike drives. I don't know. Does he though? I guess I'm okay with him being a grandma because then I'm safe. But like,
Well,
my
yes,
God.
yeah.
Also, Mike's my boyfriend, and
He drives like a grandma.
apparently, I've never noticed.
I'm sorry, Mike.
That's funny. Get fricked, Mike.
But then we also find out why she's also nervous, because her parents died in a car crash.
Yeah.
So she doesn't drive. That's why she didn't have a car.
Mm-hmm.
So if she had a car, she could have driven herself home.
Driven herself. Yeah.
But then that also might have been like the anxiety from the medication.
Oh,
Or why
right.
why she needed the medication, maybe for her like anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and PTSD.
Yeah.
But
Also,
you're getting into a car and you're nervous because your parents died in a car crash.
wouldn't you again?
Think to take maybe a couple with you. I'm not saying you had to take like some
Yeah.
at that point,
Yeah.
but like at least have them as like an emergency.
And you wouldn't get in a car with a stranger. Hello. What? That's a
so
big
many red
thing.
flags, so
Yeah,
many red
like
flags.
we're building up Charlie as the most idiotic
Stupid.
character
She just,
in the planet. She makes the most unwise decision as a woman.
yeah.
Again, we're in the 90s. Not everything's the same as it is now
Yeah.
in 2021. But Lord help us above. This girl needs some common sense. I don't know if it's because she was raised by her grandma and her parents died.
Maybe she was a little bit more naive because her grandma raised her, and her grandma was from an even
Older
time.
generation. So
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
there's so many things that could be why she's not as like,
Vigilant.
yeah, but oh God, she makes me cringe sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Charlie, come on, you can do this.
Yeah.
You're just making the wrong decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that we find out from my notes from the first part, thank you, is that she uses movies in her mind to cope with the loss of her parents. So whenever she gets anxious,
Nervous, anxious,
it kind of
freaks
takes
out.
over.
Yep. She literally goes into a hallucination movie that she creates for herself in her mind.
She can't control when they're going to come on.
Right. She never knows when they're going to happen.
So it just so happens that this happens in the freaking car with a stranger who's trying to kill her, we think.
Yeah. So there are moments when she goes into a movie in her mind, and as a reader, you don't know what's real
You don't.
and what's in her head.
Yeah.
There are so many moments, and some of them you can tell and some of them you can't. Like, but oh my God, let's go into the 20 questions part, because that's,
Yeah, let's see.
I don't think there's anything really that happens that, okay, wait, no, the pit stop part. No, that's during the 20
Hold on.
questions part.
Hold on.
Sorry.
No, you are fine. Let's see. Oh, so when she had the movies in her mind, I actually thought that maybe she would have had like dissociative identity disorder, where she like has split personality.
Oh.
So I thought that's what was happening, and I was like, oh boy, I wonder if one of her split personalities killed Maddie and she didn't know.
Ooh, what
That's what I thought was
a
happening.
way to make, oh gosh, yeah.
It could've been really
Interesting.
cool. Yeah, it
That's
could've
an
been cool if
interesting
you
way.
did that.
Write your own book, Morg.
God. No, thank you. Oh, and one of the other quotes that I have was she's telling us about her movies in her mind, and it says, quote, "Besides, they never lasted very long, and they certainly never hurt anyone until one of them did," end quote. So all of these things are
They're just
kinda telling us
building.
that maybe Charlie killed Maddie and she is guilty, or maybe didn't know that she killed
Yeah,
Maddie, or whatever.
They're just building.
So this excerpt is when we find out, when we see his driver's license.
Shoo, I forgot about that part.
Yes.
Oh man, this is when your anxiety, like, you're just like starting.
Yes.
And you kind of are like, oh man, Charlie really messed up.
Yes. So his name is Josh, according to Josh.
Yes.
And we go to, I don't remember how his wallet, I think, falls and she picks it up.
Yeah, so like I don't know how they do it, but
it falls in her
just
lap.
falls.
Because she didn't open it.
Right. It
fell in
falls
her lap.
open.
When he was in the grocery store. When the convenience store, the gas station. Yes?
No, I think that happens after. I think they're driving and it falls down onto the floor and it flips open.
And then she goes to pick it up.
And then she goes and
sees
sees
it.
the license.
And the driver's license says his name is Jake, and he's from Pennsylvania. Joshua from Ohio.
Yeah.
And it's not even like it was, like, maybe his middle name was Josh, and, like, he goes by
Josh, yeah.
Josh Jake. Joshua Jacob. I mean, I guess.
That's, yeah.
That just doesn't sound
Nope.
real. I'm really sorry if any
Nope.
of our listeners are named Joshua Jacob,
Excuse
but
me.
it just
Yeah.
sounds kind of weird.
It's something. First note of another note, because first we have him blocking the trunk.
Yes.
Then she sees his driver's license that says Jake, not Josh. What is going on?
Yeah.
Why did you get in the car?
So this is red flag number 2.
Second red flag.
So keep a count. Second red flag.
2 red flags we've got.
So now this next excerpt is when we get to 20 questions.
Oh my
So
gosh.
would you like to tell about 20 questions?
Sure. This is the night when we went to the drive-in and we both screamed.
Oh, this is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. So they're playing 20 questions. Also, we got to go back to the murder of her best friend.
Okay.
So the murderer they think is the campus killer. The campus killer serial killers have their own signature. And usually books about serial killers will like note on it. Campus killer's signature is he takes a tooth from his victims. And that's the signature. So Maddie, when they find her body, and it has to be noted that the only people that know about the signature is cops who are on the case and the families of the victims. So we get into the 20 questions and he's like, hey, you want to play 20 questions? And she's like, sure. So she's like, in her head, she's like, let's just do this because it's keeping him driving and all this stuff. And like, she's like really just like having so much anxiety. And I don't even know how to describe. So as we all know, 20 questions is you ask a question. Is it an animal? No. Is it an object? Yes. Is it alive?
I think he was like,
It can be. What?
I'm going to say, I did not know where this was going.
Oh, no freaking clue.
I was just like, why are we getting this whole 20 questions game? This is really stupid. It's wasting time.
Oh,
There were
no.
times in this book
That you thought it was
that I
like,
this
why is
gonna
he
be
adding
stupid.
this?
Yeah, and then continue.
And then we get to the end of the 20 questions. And she's like, oh my gosh. It's a tooth.
Yes, he chose a tooth.
He chose a tooth. And then he's like, okay. And then so she's like, is it a tooth? And he was like, I don't even know if she says it, but she's like, she gets quiet and kind of like starts to get like her anxiety starts to heighten. And then he was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
He reveals that he knows that the killer took a tooth from Maddie.
But how did he find,
How does he find out? How does he know?
I think she asked.
Yeah, he said it was in the paper. But that's a lie. That's a lie because the only people who know, cops and victims of the family.
I need to.
Third red flag, my friends. Third red flags.
At the end.
So then, after they play 20 questions, Maddie's like, I have to. She tells.
Oh, you know what? Never mind.
She tells Jake she has to go to the bathroom. Oh no. There's something that happens before this.
So
Ignore my statement.
This is when they're on, like, she's like, I have a headache, and she puts her head on the window.
Oh yeah.
She sees a state trooper, so she like on the glass and writes help.
Yeah.
But then you're missing a key part.
I
here.
know.
So what song was playing?
Come as you are.
So this song was playing.
It's a Nirvana song,
Wow.
everyone.
While they were playing 20 questions. And then she goes into a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and when she comes back out,
The song's playing
the
again.
song is playing.
Come as you are.
So she is like, wow, okay, I had a movie in my mind. That's weird. The same song is still playing. But then she asks him, did
we-
go into a movie in my mind? And he said, yeah, you were gone
For a
few
while,
minutes,
yeah.
or a while,
Yeah.
yeah. And she's like, how come the same song is still playing? But then she asked if they played
Play 20 questions, and he says
no.
no. And then you're like, what the heck is actually happening
My
here?
mind, like my head hurts right now.
From thinking about it. Because you're like, wait, what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. So that happens. And then the cop car thing happens. The
Yes.
state trooper, when she puts help on the window.
This is her way of getting attention and trying to get out of the situation. So now she's
Yes.
really trying to get out of the car. Like, this is her being like, I need to get out. This is not good. I'm in a bad situation. I'm in the car with a killer. I need to get out.
So then they pull up to the toll plaza.
Yes.
And she says, okay, when the car stops, I'm going to get out. And then all I have written here, she plans to jump out of the car, but then something happens, ... And I don't know what I was leading myself on for.
I can't remember either. Yeah.
Did she go back into I think she went back into a movie.
Oh, yeah, she goes to another movie.
'Cause I think he triggered it.
Yeah.
I think he might have, like, played the song again.
Or, yeah. He started the song over.
Yeah, so he triggered her to go back into a movie in her mind.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so then now we're on to the next thing. Let's see. Okay, so I say here.
So she tries to get out in the toll plaza, right? And that's her plan, but she gets triggered into a movie.
Yes.
So now they're through the toll plaza. So that was her other way of escaping. But
Yep.
she
She
doesn't get
jumps out
out.
of the
She
car.
doesn't get out.
She doesn't get out because she can't.
Right.
So the next thing. Were you going to say something?
Nope. I thought I had something, but I don't.
Okay. So I say that we get a Josh Jake point of view for the first time, and we find out that he's for sure the bad guy and that he's been messing with Charlie this whole time. Because what was in his trunk, we find out that all of his different license plates
Are in his trunk.
for like Pennsylvania, Ohio,
New Jersey.
Yeah.
But why? Why does he have this stuff? Is he the campus killer? What is happening?
Right. So then he also says, we get a point of view from him saying, oh, that was almost a close one with the 20 questions. So then we find out that 20 questions actually happened.
Yeah,
And
so
he's
now
messing with
he's
her.
messing with her. So now we're like, sugar.
Yeah, he's the bad guy. We find
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
And then, let's see, different license plates and licenses and all his, quote, gear in his trunk that Charlie never saw. So that's all I wrote for this excerpt. I think we kind of just got, like, a long point of view from him, maybe.
Yeah. I love that Riley Sager did this. Because I think if it was all Charlie's point of view, it wouldn't be as anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
And I just love that he has these little excerpts from other characters. So keep going.
Okay. Let's see. So the next excerpt I have, Charlie finds out that Josh/Jake was lying about 20 questions. And I don't remember how she finds that out.
I can't remember either.
Okay.
But let's just keep going.
then they
So
go to
she
the
finds
diner.
out that they actually do play 20 questions.
Yes, and they go to
No,
the
no.
diner. Yeah?
Nope. You go to the bathroom. You forgot about the bathroom.
Oh, that must have happened in the excerpt before. So why don't you talk about the bathroom?
Okay,
'Cause I
so
didn't take notes on that.
so she goes to eventually stop.
At like a rest stop.
A rest stop, and she's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and he's like, okay, we'll stop. So they stop, and she hangs out in the bathroom for a while, and she's waiting for somebody to come so she can tell them what's happening. So she's hoping. So then, she is telling this. So a woman comes in, right, and she's like, oh no, she doesn't. Somebody comes in.
Yeah.
Somebody comes in, and they're banging on the
Stall
bathrooms,
Yep.
and she's like, Josh came in and is going to actually hurt me. But a woman opens her door and is like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And so this is her way of getting out. So here's another escape.
Also, this woman was really smart. She literally checked every single bathroom to make
So
sure that no men were in there.
This woman is the smartest person. She should have went away with this
They
woman
should've.
because
She literally
Charlie
should've.
would have learned a lot about life. But
Smart.
anyway.
Now I've never done that, and now I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, this is life facts from Riley Sanger.
Gosh.
But yeah, so then Charlie starts pleading and begging this person, like, I think I'm in a car with this guy's gonna do something really bad to me. And like, this woman's freaking out because one, Charlie sounds like it's really late at night. So she sounds like she's drunk. She's like having an episode, and this woman's like freaking out.
Yeah, this woman's like, lady, are you okay?
All while this is happening, Charlie goes into a movie.
Yep.
And it's basically what the movie is Maddie's like talking to her about like just talking. And before she comes out of the movie, Maddie takes Charlie's head and slams it against the sink. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what is happening?
What is happening?
Again, Charlie being the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Charlie's really digging a hole for herself through this whole book.
Yeah.
So then
yeah, continue.
The woman's like, leaves, right? She leaves. She's just like, you're not.
She asks if she needs help, and then Charlie's like, no, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, and then she leaves.
And then she leaves.
But she's still there in the parking lot outside her car. And then you go.
Okay. And then, so now they drive to the diner.
Now they're at the diner. Yeah, he suggests that they stop once again because she's like, hey, let's take a break. Because he's kind of, and I think he apologizes and stuff. He's like, and they're like, let's take a break. I don't know for sure, but.
Okay. Yeah. So
but they show up at this diner in the middle of nowhere. Pennsylvania. Yeah. If you've ever driven through Pennsylvania, it's trees for days. Don't ever get into a car with a stranger to go to Pennsylvania.
Don't ever get into a car with a stranger. I think that's the main point of this book.
Oh my God. Anyway, so they're in the middle of nowhere.
So they're in the middle of nowhere.
At a diner.
Yes. So she goes up and they sit down next
They take in the scene as they come out. Charlie sees a payphone.
Yes. They go inside and actually let's go back. When Robbie, her boyfriend, said that, like, when you get there,
they come up with safe words.
Yeah. So if you need to call me from the road, it was
the situation has gotten the situation taken a turn. That's their safe word.
That's their safe word of like, I need help. And then there was another one.
I can't remember. Yeah, it's a smooth ride or something.
And it was from a movie, naturally. And so she gets to the diner and they go up and they order and she's like, I'm not really that hungry, whatever. She goes out to the payphone because she's like, I'm going to call Robbie and I'm going to tell him. She gets on the phone. Or no, she tries to call 911. She tries to call 911 first.
Oh yeah, and then Josh comes out. Is like he's just hanging out outside.
And he's just standing next to her, like watching her on the payphone, so she can't be on the phone with 911 and be like, "Hi, I need help. I'm being." Yeah.
Yeah.
So she hangs up God. He's like, "Oh, what's the issue?" And she's like, "Oh, I forgot my boyfriend's number. I couldn't figure it out." And then whatever. So she gets back on the phone, calls Robbie, says the safe word. And then Robbie's like, where are you at? Whatever. She gives all the information.
Yeah. Well, but she's got to keep it cool because he's right there. Josh is literally listening to the conversation.
Yes.
Also, red flag number 5.
Yeah.
Literally.
Red flag number fucking 12.
Yeah. Anyway. He's literally listening into this conversation.
So they go back inside and they sit down.
Well, Robbie, so she gives a code word. She does the code word and then she references a movie that they both watched.
Yes.
And that's his clue that she's in danger. And in this movie, there's a character that's named Charlie. And she's going through the same situation that Charlie is in right now. Similar situation. Mm-hmm. And that's the clue that she gives Robbie that says, oh, I need help.
Yes.
So then, you go.
Then they go inside. And I think she sits down and Jake or Josh or whatever is like, did you just give a code word to him? Like, he's on to her.
Yeah, he knows what's happening.
And she's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, whatever. And he basically tells her, listen, I think I'm going to leave you here.
Yes.
And I think, because, you're not trusting me. I don't really trust you.
Right.
I'm going to leave you here. And she's like, okay, whatever. Like, no, I don't want you to leave me here. But at the same time, she was like, great, this is fantastic.
Right. So then they order the food.
Yes.
This is important. They go to the food. They order food. Charlie gets tea, hot, scalding tea, and french fries. Now, Jake, gets the blue diner special or something like that.
Yeah.
Something. It's steak, whatever.
Yeah.
So then our delightful, lovely old waitress comes, and her name is Marge. Hello, Marge.
Hello, Marge.
Hello.
Another
She's
character.
great. So she comes in and gets their order. Mm-hmm. She's old, very frail, tiny.
Mm-hmm. So then she brings their food back and leans over to hand the food or the tea or something.
Yeah, spills the tea, her hot tea, on Charlie. Yep.
So then Charlie's like, shit, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to go clean this off, whatever. Then, while she's in the bathroom, Marge comes in and she's like, sweetie, are you okay? Mm-hmm. I spilled that on, like, I don't think she actually tells her that she spilled it on her own purpose.
No, but we get a Marge point of view, and it says that Marge did it on purpose because she sensed danger between the two of them.
Charlie was in danger and she wanted to get her alone to talk to her.
Yep.
And then Marge also compliments the jacket that she's wearing. I feel like that's important.
Yep, another important point that we glossed over, but
yep, it's okay.
There's a lot of things that are in this book that make the book so good. They're just little details that are important to the whole scene. If we forget about them, they come back. But the coat that Charlie is wearing is the only thing that she has from Maddie. And it's a bright red vintage jacket.
Yes.
And
Marge compliments it.
Marge is like, that's a beautiful jacket there.
Yes.
And so she starts cleaning the jacket because it's got stain from the tea.
Right. And then it's also like a sentimental value because it's Maddie's. So she's whatever. And I think Marge offers to buy her another one.
Another one,
and she's
yeah.
like, no, this has sentimental value. It was my friend's, you know, like I just want to keep it. So then they go back out. And Charlie kind of psychs herself up a little bit.
Yeah, she's like,
you know
I'm going to psych this guy out.
She's like, I'm going to kill him.
I'm going to kill him. I'm going to flip on this campus killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then she goes back out, sits down, and no, she goes to the jukebox.
Oh, and plays.
What song does she play?
Come as you are. And then Josh is like, huh?
She sits down and she's like, you know what? Yeah, I did give my boyfriend a code word, and I know that you're the campus killer, and like psychs him out, and I know that we played 20 questions, and I know that you're lying to me.
Yeah, and then this is where he apologizes and says, oh, and she says, we're going to continue to go. Mm-hmm. I'm not leaving. I'm not staying at this diner.
Wait.
Is there something bad? I forget.
There's something else that happens. So while she's on the phone with Robbie, she tells him that she's in danger, where she's at. So Robbie calls the police.
And the cops come.
And the cop goes inside and he's like, I got a call that there's like somebody in danger here. Is anybody in danger? And I think at this point it's just Charlie,
Marge, and Robbie.
Nope. Josh.
Not Josh. Josh, sorry.
Yeah. So those three are the only people at the diner at this point, because it's like
it's
late. So he comes in and Charlie is like getting ready to kind of say something, but Josh has a knife or a gun.
Yeah, he has the steak knife,
and he holds it to Marge.
And
he's like showing Charlie that he has the knife to Marge's like back or something.
And Marge doesn't know. Marge doesn't know.
And so if Charlie says anything, Marge is gonna
die. Right.
And she's like, well, this lady just tried to help me. I can't risk her life.
Right. So
she says that she's fine. The cop leaves.
I think they leave along with the cop. Yeah. Like they get into the car.
So there's another point. She forgets her jacket or her bag at her
backpack in the diner. Yeah.
So she goes back, and when she goes back, she grabs her backpack and she grabs a steak knife and brings that into the car with her.
Only smart move Charlie has done this whole thing.
Done herself
once she gets confidence, she gets the brain power.
Yes.
My God. So. I know we're kind of going through this step by step, but this is important to the whole plot of the book and why we like it so much. And that's why we're kind of just going through it. So, like, I know this is just a lot of discussion about the book, and it's kind of getting a little dry. It's kind of just like slow, but it's important.
Yes, we're getting into the good stuff now, I promise.
This is where the anxiety inducing gets high.
Excerpt is all in caps lock. So my next one is OMG. Charlie gets into the car with Josh and they discuss why he wants to kill her. So she's basically like, why me? I know that you're the killer. Why me? And he's like, it has to happen this way. Like, they basically have that discussion that happens normally in like a murdery thing right before somebody dies. Mm-hmm. And then she stabs him.
Yes.
She leans over and stabs that motherfucker.
Oh, you know what? It's because when they're at the rest stop, he takes handcuffs and a Swiss Army knife out of his toolbox and puts it in his pocket. And he's like, I have handcuffs, and if you're making this hard, I'm going to use them.
He tries to handcuff her.
Yes.
That's when she stabs him.
Yep.
Okay, you're right.
He hands her the handcuffs, and she drops them on the floor as she goes to grab them. Or as he goes, so it's somehow she tries to pick them up, takes the knife out of her pocket, and then he grabs her and she stabs him.
Yes.
So
then she gets out of the car and runs back to the diner.
Wait, she has a movie before this.
She does? I forgot.
She goes and she snaps into a movie, and it's Josh. She's in the car still, and Josh is like, you already killed me.
Yes.
And she snaps out of it, and she sees blood on her hands, and it's like all over her, and she like sees Josh on the ground and takes off. Yes. No clues if Josh is dead or not.
She thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
She thinks he's dead.
So
then she goes back to the diner.
Diner is black. Completely no one's there.
Right.
So
she pushes the door open and she's like, hello, is somebody here? Marge comes out. Right?
Yep.
And she's like, I think I need help. I need someone, like, whatever. I need the police called because she has blood all over her. Then Marge is like, okay, honey, like, come to the back. We'll call. This bitch.
This lady chloroforms.
Yes.
Chloroform
and ties her up.
What is happening, you guys? What is this book? This is where I think I decided that this is a 5 for me.
Old Marge.
Who would have thought this lady
bitch
who tried to help Charlie
would be in on it?
Yeah, but we don't know if she's in on it at this point, but whatever.
But like, come on, why else is she tying her up?
So she's in the back diner and tied up, chloroformed. And it's like, what the actual crap, Riley Sager? And then what are you doing to my soul? Yep.
Who shows up?
Robbie
shows up.
Robbie, knight in shining armor, shows up.
Shows up. And he is like, was there a woman here? You know,
asking questions, and Marge is like,
no, I don't know what you're talking about. Or no, she was here
she has a shotgun, and before all this happens and Robbie knocks on the door,
yeah,
Marge is like, hey, if you don't say anything, or I will kill him. I will shoot him. So Charlie doesn't say anything
while Robbie's in.
Yep.
Okay. So then he leaves.
He leaves. Yep. And we switch back to Charlie's. So anyway, keep going.
Let's see.
So then Marge starts taking Charlie out to their car. Her car, Marge's car.
Yep.
And Charlie notices that her taillight has been hit. Mm-hmm. And we go to, and that's how I think she knows that Robbie, or that's her sign that Robbie knows is there and stayed, because I think he does that so he can follow Marge wherever she goes and takes Charlie.
Okay. So
they leave.
Yeah, tell the rest because I skipped to like a lot of the plot
twists, so they leave.
I don't want to.
Yep, they leave. So Charlie and Marge leave the diner, and Robbie stayed and follows them. Mm-hmm. We switch to Josh's perspective. Josh is alive. Mm-hmm. He comes back to the diner, is driving towards the diner. He sees a car that he knows is Marge. So obviously now we know Marge and Josh are on it together.
Yes.
So he sees Marge's car on the other side of the highway, and another car following close behind. So he's like, that's got to be them. So he swings around and is following Marge
while he's bleeding out.
Yes, he's in excruciating pain because he got stabbed by if you think about it, a steak knife is this big and serrated, so he's in pain. He's in so much pain.
Right.
So they're driving. Where did they go to?
They go to a lodge.
A lodge that is revealed to us earlier in the book, that because it's an old rundown lodge. Mm-hmm. They didn't know, like, no one's there. No, it's old. So they drive up to this.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're driving up to it, it's a pretty steep hill mountain that they're going on, and you have to go across a bridge.
Okay. Yeah.
And they get up to the top, and they go inside.
So I think on this drive is when we find out some pretty important
I forget. Yeah, go ahead.
things. On the drive or when they get there, we find out who's Marge.
Marge is Maddie's grandma.
Can we just talk about how it's actually
It's not
her?
grandma. It's
Mama
Mima.
or
Mima.
Yeah.
Mima.
So
The worst name for a grandma.
I know that was really like I'd hated that. But
So Mima, this is getting even deeper.
so now we're trying to figure out who the fuck Josh is now at this point.
Yeah,
because
who's Josh? And like, what is going on? Why are we getting taken by Mima? Like, what is happening? So
Mima, why?
So clearly Mima knows who Charlie is.
Yes. So she ends up telling her that Josh is just a bounty hunter.
Yeah, and she hired him to get Charlie so that they could talk.
So
This woman is bonkers bananas.
the whole plan was for Josh to bring her to the diner and leave her there with Marge and then be on his merry way. and be
Oh
done.
no, the plan has changed.
So
Well, here, let's go back really fast. So Marge and Josh had their own code word, and it was when he ordered the blue diner special, that was the code that they stayed.
yep, and this is the girl.
This is the girl we know.
Yes.
And she was supposed to stay, and then that's where Marge goes in.
Yeah.
And talks. But
talks to her.
the cop comes, and Charlie's like, nope, I'm leaving with him. And everything changes. So
Yes.
that's when Marge, I think, snaps and is like, this is getting different. So now Marge is snapping. Marge has absolutely gone bananas.
So a little bit of backstory. I know we're going back and forth a little bit.
But you have to, because it's just
The point of view switches so many times.
so many times, and the things are revealed.
So the night that Maddie dies, when she gets murdered, she drags Charlie out to the bar. Charlie does not want to be at the bar.
Yes.
Charlie's like, I want to go. I don't want to be here. And Maddie's like, you're really going to leave me here to walk home alone.
And she's like, yeah, because you've done this to me so many times. I don't want to go to the bar. You do this to me all the time, and you're a terrible fucking friend.
Yeah, she calls her a terrible friend and tells her to like fuck off.
She tells her to fuck off. And that's the last words Charlie's ever said to Maddie.
And then, so Maddie, as Charlie's walking away, Maddie is talking to a man, outside, and Charlie turns around.
Just sees his silhouette and a fedora.
Fedora.
First off,
so
that should have been Maddie's red flag. No, if you see a man in fedora, run.
So then this whole thing is that Charlie saw the killer, but didn't have any information to give the police. So Mima, fucking grandma over here,
wants to talk.
Thinks that she's lying, and she's like, I know you know more information.
So this crazy lady thinks if she can recreate the scene and get her talking again, she'll ignite the memory of what she saw.
But she just triggers a movie in her mind. Again, like the 15th time at this point.
Yes. Basically, just to speed this up,
Yeah, the lodge took a while.
The lodge takes a while. So she recreates the story, and I don't even really know for sure, but she pulls out pliers and is going to take one of Charlie's teeth out.
This is the tongue.
Oh yeah. So oh my gosh.
She puts the pliers on Charlie's tongue and
yanks.
And at one point, Charlie is like, I think she's going to pull my tongue out of my mouth, and I had to stop reading.
Yeah.
I could not
It's
imagine.
a lot. Why did Mima go nuts? What is happening, Mima? So, continuing.
So, she ends up getting free somehow.
Yep.
Josh and Robbie show up.
Yep.
Somewhere in the vicinity. It kind of goes very fast but very slow, so we're going to kind of skip over that part.
Yeah, so Josh gets shot eventually, or
Josh comes in and tries to set her free.
Yes.
And then Marge shoots him.
Right. And that's how Charlie escapes. And there's a lot of things that happen. Marge chases her. She has another movie in her mind. And there's actually 2 movies that happen, but whatever. So
then, long story short, Robbie comes, saves the day, and he gets into the car with Charlie, and I think we're going to go get police.
They're going to go to the police.
And Robbie's driving at this point?
No. Charlie's driving because Robbie's hurt.
Okay, so Charlie is driving, and then she gets into the car and goes into the glove compartment and sees like a little engagement ring box.
And she's like, oh my gosh. They've been dating for what, a year?
She had planned on breaking up with him when she left. So she was like, oh my God, I shouldn't have broken up with him.
This is a terrible bad time.
And right at this point, Danielle, I was like, this is it. This is the second
This
plot
is the
twist.
moment.
Robbie is
the campus killer. What?
Oh,
so when she opens the box, Robbie's like, no. What comes out of the engagement ring box? Teeth. Holy cow.
I have goosebumps.
I will never look at teeth the same way ever in my life again.
I mean, I don't really look at teeth in my everyday
I look at
life, but like, yeah, I guess.
Teeth have a new meaning in my life now. Thank you, Riley Sager.
So, yeah. She ends up basically saying, like, why did you do this? And he was like, you're special. You are so special. I was planning on killing you, but I actually fell in love with you.
Their first date, he was going to kill her.
And
what? And they end up dating, and he's like, you're special. You're not like anybody else.
And why did he kill Maddie?
Because she was over the top. She thought, yeah, why did he kill her?
He thought, because you know what? It kind of hinted at it in the beginning. Robbie told her in the very beginning that Maddie was a bad friend and she's selfish.
Yeah, and she was over the top, and he doesn't like girls that are over the top and think that they're all that, basically.
So he kills her.
He kills Maddie. And he let it be known, the other 2 girls that he kills, and he goes into this whole thing about why he kills these other 2 girls and like all the backstory of it. And first off, I have to note this next part. Charlie throws up on the steering wheel.
I forgot about that. So you're just driving and then you're just like...
She just upchucks, and then she decides to floor it.
Into where? Into where? Come on, Danielle.
In the dam, right?
In the water, yeah.
Yep, so she floors it into the water. And guys, come on. She's got vomit on the steering wheel, and oh my gosh, this is a whole situation. Anyway.
So she floors it into the water, and what does she do to him?
Keep going, you keep going, because I can't remember.
Okay. She handcuffs him.
Yes.
So he can't get out of the car. She handcuffs him,
but she waits for the perfect time.
Because she found it out in a movie.
Yep.
Of when she needs to open the door because of the pressure of the water and
yep.
whatnot.
And
she
handcuffs him just at the right time and traps him so he can't escape and she can.
Yes. So he drowns. And then let's see.
Robbie drowns. So her plan to kill the campus killer follows through.
It just
but
took a lot
the
of
wrong
detours.
person.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Charlie drives the car. She takes one of his teeth.
And she takes one of his teeth to Marge.
Yes.
Yep. So
yeah. Go ahead.
After she escapes, they go through the aftermath, right? Like,
yes,
so they're all in the hospital. She visits Marge first, right?
And I really would like to just point out, when she goes to visit Marge, she also tells the police that Marge wasn't trying to hurt her, so Marge gets off.
Right. So because I think that's because she felt so bad about how she couldn't remember who the killer was, that she wanted to avenge her family and Maddie's family and whatnot.
So then she ended up, and Marge has like stage 4
cancer. Yeah.
I think. So she's like,
so this is why she goes after Charlie in the first place, because she's like, I have cancer. I'm going to die. I have nothing to lose. I'm going to go and find the campus killer and kill him. And since Charlie couldn't give her any information, she was going to kill.
Get her too.
Yeah.
So then she hands over the tooth
and was like,
to Marge, and Marge goes, "Atta girl," and that was, I had a little bit of tears. I'm sorry,
Chef's
but I
kiss.
was like, yes,
yes.
this is the perfect ending. And her and Josh
Wait.
end up.
Okay, so then she goes to another hospital room because all we know of Josh is that he got shot.
Yes.
And we don't know if he's alive or not. So next she goes to another hospital room. And she visits Jake/Josh.
Yes.
And
then he asks her out on a date.
he goes, after all of this, and he lets her borrow his car to go home. And then he says, once you get back, because he'll be in the hospital for a while, once you get back, maybe we can go to a movie.
And then I think the point here, she was like, what are you going to do? You're not a bounty hunter anymore. And he's like, I think I want to drive chauffeur for Hollywood celebrity.
An Uber driver.
But he said that he wanted to drive celebrities in
it's
LA.
not really an Uber driver. It's a enhanced Uber driver.
So then they go out on a date and blah, blah, blah. And then the fucking epilogue.
This is my favorite part about this whole book. The epilogue is
The entire book we were reading
was a movie.
It
becomes a movie of Charlie's situation. So the whole situation's true. It happens, right? But it's not as heightened. One, the whole thing with Marge doesn't actually happen. She never meets up with her in the hospital because Marge dies. She kills herself. She kills herself. Marge dies. The whole thing with Josh happens. They go to the movies.
Yes.
And all this stuff. So basically, Charlie's in the movie theater, watching this whole thing take place, and was like, "This movie's shit."
That's literally what she says. The director comes over and he's like, "What did you think?" And she's like, "It was great." And in her head, she's like,
"This
None
movie
of this
was
happened."
absolute garbage." So funny. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And she was like, and then so she leaves the movie theater with all the people who came and watched the movie.
Yep. And then
who drives up? He picks her
up because he's a driver now.
Yeah, and she's like, "How was your night? Did you drive anybody nice?" And he like says that he
I don't remember.
he says something. He drives a celebrity, like a woman, and he was like, "She's not as pretty in real life or whatever."
Oh yeah. I don't remember that part.
And then they go and watch a movie.
Yeah, they end up dating, and that is
the end of the book, pretty much.
I loved it.
So good. Here's what I knew it was going to end up being a movie because my friend Erica because another book club of mine read this book, and my friend Erica in that book, which love Erica, she points out that the very first page tells us this is a movie, and it says fade in.
Yeah.
No book starts like that.
Yeah. That's
fade
true.
In.
I didn't even catch that.
I didn't either until she said that. And it's like, no book starts in with fade in. Only movies fade in. So that's your first hint that it's a movie. I didn't even notice that. Yeah. Well, get it, Erica, with all of the things. But in my brain, I wanted this to end up being a movie because I was like, this is how this book's going to end in my head. Charlie's going to make a movie and it's going to reveal that Charlie created a movie about her life, but it wasn't her. It was...
I am literally the queen of guessing.
Oh, yeah.
Twists.
Morgan's so good at guessing twists.
I did not see this coming.
Not
at all.
No, none of this. Well, the one thing that I did see coming was Robbie being the killer.
Oh, well, I'm talking about the ending.
No, the ending. Yeah.
I did not see the ending coming. I figured, so I remember telling you specifically, I think one of the plot twists had happened, and I was like, have you ever read any Riley Sager books? Because he is the best with, like, throwing in a plot twist like in the middle of the book and then a plot twist at the end, just because that's how books are usually written, and then when you're least expecting it, throwing in another plot twist.
Yes.
So once we got to when like Marge was in on it with Josh and everything, I was like, who's the killer then? Who is another character that we got introduced to? Because it would just have been stupid if it was a random person.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't have made sense.
So I was like, holy fuck,
it's Robbie. Robbie's the killer.
But I only figured it out right when she went to go get the engagement box.
Oh, see, I think once I started this book, I knew it was gonna be Robbie because I just in my brain I was like, it can't be Josh. There's no way it's Josh.
I thought it was Charlie.
Yeah, see, I never thought it was.
Charlie.
I never thought it was Charlie.
So the question that I wrote down earlier for myself was, how did Jake know about the tooth? thing, but he probably found out from Marge.
That, and he's a bounty hunter, so he probably knows stuff from cops.
That's true.
So he probably knows the details. So there's two things, Marge and he's a bounty hunter.
Wow.
What a good book. Absolutely so good.
Such a good, it was an add-on for Book of the Month, right?
Everyone should add it on next month. So good.
We told them the entire...
If you don't, don't listen to this if you don't.
Don't listen to this if you have not read Survive the Night.
Yeah.
If you've gotten this far, I'm really sorry. We did say in the beginning that we were going to talk about spoilers.
Anything in like for the next few podcasts, our main book is going to be spoiled. This is how we're doing it. We're going through the book. We're talking about our experiences with each single part. Yes. We might not split it into parts every single time, probably not, but this was just a special thing to figure out how we're gonna do this.
And this is our first podcast, so please bear with us.
It's pretty long, but this is how we're gonna do it. We're going to focus on one book, but go over our other ones, and if we both read it, we're gonna go through it.
Talk about it. Yeah.
So it's a podcast about books, guys. So like
and alcohol. This whole thing is empty. We're gonna have a mess to clean.
Anyway, so long story short, read Survive the Night. It's so good.
462 days.
Read both very good books. I would say that read One Last Stop, read 299 Days, and read Survive the Night.
Yes.
So let's finish this off.
What are we looking forward to in August, Danielle?
So we gotta give it out to people who are watching our podcast page, because our friend Jamie suggested our next book, which is Bathhouse. Yes. We're gonna read Bathhouse next month, and what I know from it is it's a thriller mystery. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about it. I haven't even read the synopsis, honestly.
I read the synopsis a little bit. I couldn't tell you what it's about though.
All right, but Jamie read it and said so good, and honestly, when I've seen it on Bookstagram, it sounds really freaking good. So I'm excited. Okay. Are you excited?
I am excited. I'm very excited to also, I think, we're not gonna read.
There's another book that we're going to read.
Yes.
The same.
Main book is going to be Bathhouse.
Main book, Bathhouse. But we're also going to read together because we're both so excited about it.
We're both so excited about it. We're not going to buddy read it like 462 Days or Survive the Night. But we're going to read
Malibu Rising.
I'm so excited.
We'll probably have to split it up into two and do Bathhouse and Malibu Rising because
we're going to have a lot to talk about, I feel
like. And TJR, she's a queen.
Yes.
The queen.
Didn't know. I might just add on Malibu Rising to my next book of the month. Also, shout out Book of the Month.
We love Book of the Month.
All of these great add-ons.
Everyone should get Book of the Month.
Yes.
It's the best thing in the world.
Honestly, you get so many good books.
Hardcover.
This is not an ad, guys. We love Book of the Month.
We love Book of the Month. We're not even sponsored.
This is our first podcast. We're not sponsored by Book of the Month.
Who the heck? But you get...
It was $10.
$10. You get hardcover, new, early release, new books.
Yes.
Hardcover, which if you go to Barnes & Noble, sorry, Barnes & Noble love you, but...
$30.
$30 for...
Survive the Night was $30.
Yeah,
and
we got it for $10. So... I'll put our code into our description so you can use one of our codes to get your first month for $10.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Add-ons are 10. It's normally 15-ish, 14, 15.
I think it's 16 after tax.
Yeah.
For the monthly
subscription. But your first month, if you use one of our codes, will be $10. Yes. So get Book of the Month, get Survive the Night, read these books, love us, love books, all that jazz.
Yes. So the last surprise that we have.
This is our favorite. This is my favorite thing that we're going to do.
This is very exciting.
I got to get my headphone. Because I want to make sure.
Oh, okay.
I got to make sure that.
So each month, we are going to shout out one of our favorite Bookstagrammers. We are going to shout out somebody that we decide on together. Someone that we decide on together who we love them. We love their page. We love their posts. It's going to be a monthly thing. So definitely interact with our posts.
And we might shout out to you.
Comment on our YouTube. We're going to post this on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
So who are we shouting out this month, Danielle? I'll give
Drum roll. So we're shouting out my friend and Morgan's friend.
Yes.
Annie, literary Annie, who is also my boyfriend's sister, and she's the one who, first follower.
She was the first follower.
Yes,
once we
queen.
announced our podcast.
And
thank you, Annie.
Thank you, Annie, for all your support and
Always.
just being our friend, you know?
Yes. Love Annie.
Also, Annie introduced me to Book of the Month.
And you introduced me to Book of the Month.
So
thank you, Annie.
Thank you for Annie for being just the queen
Annie's
of everything.
amazing.
Annie is so if you follow her on Instagram, it's literary Annie, 2 N's and 2 E's. She is a fantasy book reader. She is very, very fantasy, you guys. Very YA fantasy. And if that's up your alley, go give Annie.
Even if it's not up your alley, her posts are beautiful.
She's got the way she posts and like she goes. She's just so great. So just go give her a follow.
Annie.
We love you, Annie. Thank you for your support and.
Yeah. Tag her in the posts.
We'll tag her in the post, give her a follow, and you are our special friend for the month.
Yes. So I think that's everything.
That is all, you
We've
guys.
been here for 4 hours, but
Yeah.
you know what? We have everything.
I hope it's not 4 hours plus.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's probably 2:30 the most.
2:30.
2 hours and 30 minutes.
Oh, I was like, it's 1:30.
Oh God, we've been talking for a while.
We started this at like 11 something.
Okay, yeah.
But we also
went into it.
we went into it. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna.
Sorry,
edit it.
it's long. We will try to cut out a lot the next. So I think our little book reviews need to be a little bit shorter the next time.
That's okay.
But yeah, so let's end it here.
Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank
for
you
supporting us and following the podcast. This has been like a drunk thought of Danielle's and I for a long time, and we were like, it's so stupid to have a podcast. We're not gonna do a podcast.
No one's gonna listen to us. We're
no one's gonna listen to us.
We're the biggest friggin' idiots ever.
We made the podcast page, and I think we have like 30 followers maybe right now,
and we haven't even put up a podcast yet.
No, so I really love every single one of you, and I love the Bookstagram community.
Oh my gosh,
it's so welcoming, so great.
If you are somebody who loves books and are just like, I'd start a Bookstagram, man. People are so freaking nice on there.
People are so nice.
I can't even tell, like, the people who are in my, like, book club and, like, just the random people I talk to all the time on book Instagram are so special and so nice. And it's just, like, shout out to the book community. Like,
yes, everybody's so nice. We're all nerds. And
the
we all
biggest
love books.
friggin' nerds.
It's so great.
It's the best. So yeah.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you for listening and
watching, and yeah. So shout out. Where can people find you?
My book handle is Danny Allreads. Allreads. Danny DANI reads.
And I am at _bookmorgs, like bookmarks, but MORGS, and then there's an underscore at the end.
So yeah, give us a follow and give Boozed and Reviewed a 5-star and like and follow us. And
subscribe.
Subscribed on YouTube. So go to your favorite podcast page, go to your favorite YouTube page, us. And and yeah, thank you guys so much. And we'll see you next month.
On September 1st is our next
upload.
Upload.
Yep.
When we're going to review Malibu Rising.
And Bathhouse.
So
yeah, read Bathhouse with us, guys.
Yeah, read Bathhouse.
Read leave us comments, send us messages, please. We love talking about books.
And we need some ideas for October's read.
September's read. Yep.
Idiot.
It's fine. So, all right, on that note, see you guys next month.
Yay!